Hello everyone, Noah Stanley here. Today we're going to be looking at some of Hamination's most viewed videos. Now, like most people, you might think that this video would be long, and honest to God here saying it was. So let's get started.
One glass of water, please.
Hey punk, this here bar is for adults only. You gotta be at least 18 years old to be in here, so hit the road.
Actually, I'm 20 years old, and here's my ID.
I believe.
Nice try, little man. There ain't no way a small fry like you is 20. Now get out before I make you.
If you don't believe it, then die by my blade.
What the heck?
I'm the best blade master you'll ever see, pipsqueak. So prepare to die.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Please, mercy. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, that comeback. No, that was just good.
I'm a big boy now. Hi, I'm Bryson.
Okay, now that was pretty funny. And like, the way that Bryson actually stabbed it in there was like priority gold.
Hi, I'm Bryson, and I look younger than I actually am. I'm 20 now, and I look like I'm 15. So whenever I tell someone my age, it goes like this. What? No way are you 20. You look and sound way younger. Stop lying. It's kind of annoying being a late bloomer, but I've been told it'll work out later in life, so knock on wood. Yeah, I sound young, but you know who else sounds young? Mickey Mouse. And he's over 90 years old. And guess what? Everyone loves him.
Good point.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mickey Mouse. Don't forget to subscribe. Right, Donald?
Humdrum mint. Fancy shape.
Some of you guys turn 12 and then boom, adult. I guess I'm just getting an adult mind first and then an adult body later, which I guess is a good thing. My brain may be smooth and dumb, but it's learning how to be an adult, but it's still smooth. Yeah, you know what? I've got a tiny body and a tiny brain. No silver lining here. This just sucks.
The way he just said that. Boy, now that... I know I said this for, like, the previous part. Like, this part. That was comedy gold. But really, this part was comedy gold too. And...
It's learning how to be an adult, but it's still smooth. Yeah, you know what? I've got a tiny body and a tiny brain. No silver lining here. This just sucks.
I born this way? I don't know.
Although I still look really young due to my chronic baby face, I actually have been growing these past few years. I'm actually decently tall now. However, only my legs grew. My torso stayed tiny, but my legs got really long, which I think we can all find hilarious. My Bryson, what long legs you have? The better to kick you with.
Okay, now that was pretty good. And relating to the Little Red Riding Hood thingy, it was just good.
Even though I'm a normal height, my face still looks like a 12-year-old, as I've been told by everyone ever. You look really young, you're tiny. Work out later. You're small. You look young.
I know. I got it. I got the concept.
I wasn't
In order
expecting
to prevent
that.
people from saying stuff I've heard a million times, whenever someone asks me my age, I try to prep them, like, we are very late bloomers in my family. I look way younger than I actually am. Don't poop your pants or anything. Just be cool, okay? I'm 20 years old. But then they poop their pants anyway, so I have to execute them.
Okay, now that was pretty good. Like, he got awkward, but then like, I can't mimic it, but.
Anyway, on to the stories. So there I was at a dance with some friends. It was a rare occasion where you could spot a wild bison outside of his
Hidden
natural
ham.
habitat.
Hidden ham. Hidden ham.
The house. Anyway, a slow song comes on, and me and my friends awkwardly.
Awkwardly? I said it right there, Bryson. I said it right there.
Awkwardly? Anyway, a slow song comes on, and me and my friends awkwardly ask some girls to dance. So we're there dancing. So, what color's your toothbrush? Mine's blue. And she asks, how old are you? I'm 18. This was 2 years ago, mind you.
Got it.
No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. So I shuffle us over to my friend. Psst, Travis, tell her I'm 18. She doesn't believe me. Yeah, he's not lying. He really is 18. No, he isn't. So we just awkwardly fit over to my friend.
Okay. The way on Bryson's face was like, man, it was just good.
Awkwardly finished the dance and then never saw each other again. And that's why I hate women. And that's why I hate dances. This other time I was on a plane and we were seated in the exit row. And if you didn't know, you have to be a certain age to sit there and you have to agree to open the plane and save everyone if it crashes. If this plane crashed, I would be the one to save all of you. Thank you for your hypothetical service, sir. Anyway, I was sitting there and I had my ID ready because I knew what was coming next. Excuse me, sir, how old are you?
I am old enough to be sitting here, and here's my ID to prove it. I'm a super breed of human that ages slower and lives longer. Don't you ever question my power again. Now perish.
Okay, before we continue, the ID was literally disappearing along with the shocked woman. Good luck finding your ID.
It's worth it, so here I go. 2 years ago, I was involved in a volunteer humanitarian youth group where we all raised money to travel to India, bring supplies and medical care, and teach children how to speak English. And you guys watching my videos is actually how I paid for it, so thanks for that.
No problem.
Anyways, it was a formative experience for me, and I learned a lot through teaching and bonding with those kids in a new country. Even though it was about 96 hours of travel time, it was all worth it for the kids. So, here's the story. After a long day of teaching, I was sitting on the floor in the dinky hotel we were staying in my jammies after a bucket bath, just thinking about life. When suddenly an unfamiliar woman walked through the hallway and looked at me. Hello, little boy. How old are you? 7? What? And then she went and talked to everyone, but when she was done, she walked past my room again and said, Goodbye, 7. Yet another reason why I hate women.
Joke.
Apparently, she was a friend of one of our translators, and she was some kind of social media influencer, and a few days later, some of the other members of the group started talking about her. She was kind of rude. She was really egotistical, left a bad taste in my mouth. She was so networky. She only wanted to talk to me to get me to follow her on Facebook. I hated her from day one, so it felt really nice to have everyone else get on the same page and realize that she sucked. Bryson, I feel like the whole killing joke is going a little too far. Anytime someone disagrees with you, you just kill them. It has become repetitive and detrimentally unfunny. Please consider cutting it back.
Again with the killing. Again with the killing. Bruh. Why, Bryson? Why?
India, here's a couple more stories. While teaching, a puppy showed up at the school, and even though we weren't allowed to pet all the dogs there, I broke the rules to hold the puppy because look at him, he's so cute. But then the puppy totally imprinted on me, followed me around everywhere, and fell asleep in my backpack. During playtime, one of the children grabbed my arm and started jumping up and down, and then suddenly all of them started doing that, and I literally got mobbed and dogpiled by them. Marijuana grew everywhere there, and I grabbed some and fed it to a cow. Just thought I should share. The next day, the cow found the whole marijuana bush and ate the whole thing. That milk and those babies are gonna be crazy. Bruh, my milk tastes like color.
Colors? Man, colors. Oh, and just look at the cow's eyes. Freaky.
I learned that the toilets there are literally just holes in the ground, so that was a humbling experience. Seriously, the toilets there change a person. I'm a changed man. This Joseph guy was allergic to peanuts, and then he ate a peanut and started dying, and then our medic literally saved his life. Also, when we got home, he got run over by a car and was fine? I don't know, he just doesn't die, I guess. It's been 2 years though, so I can joke about it. On a bus home, the girl Katie next to me threw up all over her backpack, and I helped her clean it up, and she said it was really nice of me to stay sitting next to her even after she threw up. But then we got home and she got married to someone who wasn't me, so thanks a lot, Katie! This is why I hate women! Okay, we're way off track. What was this video about again? Looking young? Okay, right. Since I'm 20 now, I'm hastily looking forward to turning 21 because then I want to go into a bar and order a beer to see how the bartender and bystanders react. 1 beer, please.
Nice try, Squirt, but you ain't old enough.
Here's my ID, driver's license, birth certificate, and social security number. Now give me the beer. I'm never actually gonna drink alcohol, but I just want to see what'll happen if I try to. If I do get the beer, I'll just give it to someone else in the bar. Drinks are on me. But Bryson, why would you buy a beer if you're not even gonna drink it? That's a waste of money. It's not about the money. It's about sending a message.
A
I
message?
hope the bartender doesn't call the cops on me, though.
Son, there ain't no way you're old enough to drink.
Officer, please, look at my ID.
Too bad, because we don't double check.
To end this video off, I'm gonna try one little itty bitty sip of the beer I worked so hard to get.
Hey you, do you have ears? Well boy, do I have something
Yes.
special for you. Sponsor time. Have you heard of Audible? Yes. Well, you're hearing about it again. Audible has thousands upon thousands upon thousands of audiobooks. Whoa, that's a lot. That's enough books to crush my frail human body. But it all fits inside your phone. Look at all that knowledge. I know my brain could use some knowledge. Look how empty my head is. But now I can fill this space with awesome books in the form of audiobooks. A book I recommend is Michael Vey. It's about a kid with electric powers. I've always been a fan of characters with electric powers, and you should be too. But Bryson, I don't have any money. Then give it a try for free. You hear that? $0. New members get to try Audible for 30 days for free. Just go to audible.com/Haminations or text Haminations to 500-500. Do it! Did you do it? Yes, Bryson, I did it, and now I am enjoying amazing audiobooks. What a good little obedient viewer you are. Have a gold star and a kiss. Again, that's audible.com/Haminations or text Haminations to 500-500. Thanks for watching!
Wow. Now that was surely an interesting video. Now on to the next video. Pain.
There's only
Glad
one way
to
to
see
make
where
it mark
this
while
is
eating
going.
candy.
Except for the ad. Ads. Haminations. Mountainside. Street foods.
Hi, I'm Bryson, and today I'm gonna talk about the times I got hurt and then my entire nervous system went. Luckily, I've never broken a bone, though.
Wow, Bryson, you've never broken a bone? Your pain is irrelevant, you stupid idiot.
Wait a minute. One of the parts. Let me
Wow,
rewind.
Bryson, you've never broken a bone? Your pain is irrelevant, you stupid idiot.
Is okay, now that is a big booty.
Although I've never broken a bone, I've still experienced a wide range of physical pain. For example, one time I was holding a big PVC pipe and I threw it on the ground and it ricocheted back and hit my funny bone at Mach 10. It felt like an electrical fire on my arm. I hereby vote for the removal of funny bones from the human body because all it causes is pain. On second thought, why not remove all bones? Can't break what isn't there.
Good point. No bones? Wait a minute. Nope. Sorry this is taking a little while. No Bones Jones. No Bones Jones. Man.
Another time, I fell down face first while snowboarding and I scorpioned so hard that the bottom of my snowboard hit the back of my head. See that? Your back isn't supposed to do that. That causes a lot of ouchy feelings.
Oh, my back!
Now let's move on to the big ones. The ones that reminded me of my mortality. The ones where life went, this kid has had it too good for too long. Time to remind him who's in charge.
What the hell?
Okay, number 1. I was sitting on top of my bunk bed zoning out when my mom called me. I decided that to save time, I would forego using the ladder and just jump off the top bunk. Little did I know the fan was going at top speed. It was so fast that I didn't even see it. So I jumped and... It happened so fast that I didn't even feel it at first. But I reached up to check the damage and then I saw the blood. Mom! What's up, honey? I'm losing blood at an alarming rate and would be most grateful if you, my caregiver and guardian, would transport me to the hospital to help heal the wounds so that I can continue this mortal journey rather than ending it prematurely due to loss of blood.
Man.
Nah, I'm kidding. What I actually said was... This other time, me and my brothers were bonding with Dad. How? Dad would pull down the basketball hoop, let one of us grab on, and then he'd let go and it would slingshot us into the air. Obviously. Anyway, I could see my brothers doing it, and I wanted to turn. Okay, 3, 2, 1. My head slammed into the basketball rim, and that's naturally where my memory stops. My parents say that it scalped me a little bit, and that I have a little bald spot. However, I have so much hair that neither I nor my parents have ever been able to find this so-called bald spot. I guess it's not there after all. This other time, I was really young, and my older brother was in an argument with Mom. Now, being in my family, you learn to tune things out because yelling and screaming and fighting is all commonplace. Don't worry, we make up afterwards. But anyways, as Mom and Brody were arguing, I was all like, wow, this door hinge looks pretty cool. I should put my fingers in there. Just then, the argument came to a climax and Brody slammed the door.
Honestly. Like, put my fingers through the door hinges? Man, that would be such a good experience. As long as you didn't get your fingers slammed through it.
Shot as hard as he could. Onto my fingers.
Whoa.
My fingers bent every which way. They looked like rubber. We went to the doctor and surprisingly nothing was broken. When you're really young, your bones are still soft and springy, and that's why they didn't break. Also, that's why some babies need to wear helmets, because otherwise you might accidentally sculpt their soft head into a cone, like this. Okay, last story. One time, I was just chilling in my room with my brothers. We had a punching bag hanging under one of the loft beds, and we would take turns tackling it. It was my turn, and the punching bag was swinging, but I was too young to understand how momentum worked. So I dove for it, it swung out of the way, and my face slammed into the wall. I was taken to the hospital, and as my mom tells me, the doctors had to clean the wound, but I wouldn't let them for some reason. So they put me in a straitjacket, and I screamed, "Stop touching me! Stop touching me! Do you speak English? Stop touching me!" And then they hit me with that good sleep juice.
I'm tired.
Anyway, I got stitches, and now I have a cool scar across my eyebrow. Thank you for taking a trip down memory lane with me. Down memory pain with me. It all hurt a lot. But Bryson, I've never been injured before. Well, we can fix that. How? Wow, getting hurt really sucks. But you know what doesn't suck? Insert a really out-of-place sponsorship segue. Skillshare! Skillshare is an online learning community with like a bajillion classes to help you learn anything. You want to learn how to juggle? Boom! You want to learn how to cook? Boom! You want to get your ex-girlfriend back? Too bad, she isn't coming back, buddy. A lot of people ask me how I learned how to animate. The way I did it was watching videos called How to Animate, but they still left a lot of gaps. But guess what? There are tons of comprehensive classes on Skillshare that can teach you every step of the animation process. A beginner class I recommend is Animation for Illustration, adding movement to illustrations. This is a great place to start and then expand your animation skills from. Using it will make your brain bigger and you will acquire more skills. Knowledge is power, and it's time for you to power up. Still not sold? Then give it a try for free. The first 1,000 people to use my link in the description get a free trial. Give it a try and you'll see that it's worth it. After the trial, it's less than $10 a month. So start learning now. Okay, bye. That's the end of the video. I love you.
Finn? Okay. Now on to this one. It looks crazy.
Forget the rest of it.
And bop, yeet, bop. Animations again.
Hey, Brenner, if you jump off this cliff right now, I'll give you a penny.
A penny?
Oh. Hi, I'm Bryson, and a while ago I made a video about the times I almost died and the times I got hurt really bad. But that got me thinking about the other injuries in my family, and one sibling came to mind, one who had dodged the grasp of death more times than I can count.
What?
The sibling who had little to no regard for his own mortality and would regularly hurt himself. The wild child, if you will. The youngest brother, Brenner. This is gonna be a long video, because Brenner gets injured a lot. I don't want to cut out good stories or do a part 2, so let's just sit down, relax, grab some popcorn, and laugh at my brother's pain. Now, almost all of Brenner's injuries were self-inflicted. However, I think it's only right we start the video with Brenner's very first injury, the one he got from me. Brenner had recently been born, and my parents invited me into their room to say hi to my new baby brother. As I said hello to him, he reached out his hand and scratched my chest. Now, obviously, Brenner was just a baby. He had no control of his body and was just moving around. But my 4-year-old brain could not let this slide. How dare you? First, you come into my house, take my spot as the cute youngest child, and take all the attention from my parents? And now this? I offered you my hand in friendship, and you attacked me. You must pay recompense for your actions.
Hey, no, stop. Just calm down. Don't do it.
My parents tried to stop me, but it was too late. I reached out and scratched him back. He began to cry, and my parents put me in timeout. Little did Brenner know, his pain had just begun. Okay, in all seriousness, I felt really bad for what I did. Even now, I still regularly apologize to Brenner about it. But he can't even remember it, so he doesn't care. Brenner, my conscience has really been getting to me lately, and I'm so sorry about what I did.
Dude, that was 17 years ago. Can you just move on? I forgive you, okay?
Thank you. I love you, Brenner. I'm so glad I could get that off my chest.
First you hear it, then you...
Remember in my pain video where my brother Brody slammed the door on my fingers? Yeah. Apparently that experience runs in the family. Brody walked through a door as a young Brenner was sticking his fingers in the hinges, and Brody slammed the door again. Brenner's fingers bent every which way.
If I had a nickel for every time I slammed a sibling's fingers in the door, I'd have 2 nickels. That isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Yep.
Luckily, Brenner's fingers didn't break, and the doctors fixed him up. Feel better soon, buddy, and don't get into any more trouble.
I will make no such promises.
One time, me and Brenner were playing tag, and rather than be tagged by me, he jumped into a busy street and a car barely avoided him. I guess Brenner was more willing to die than lose at tag. Would you rather die a terrible death or...
Definitely death.
Wait, you didn't hear the other option?
Death.
I genuinely don't know why he is so accident-prone, but this next story was no accident. You know how sometimes your mom has a really good friend, so she decides to make you hang out with her friend's children, but you don't like them? Yeah. When I was younger, my mom sent me and Brenner to play with the neighbor kids, Jake and Steven. The main reason I didn't like Jake was because he said, "Your sister is so hot." Brittany was 18. Jake and I were 8. Have you considered shutting up?
Yeah.
Anyways, I spent the day tolerating Jake's shenanigans, but eventually I hid from him on the front porch and watched Brenner and Steven play in the front yard. Come here, Brenner, I want to show you something.
Wait a minute. Ominous face. Ominous face. Right there. Right there.
Steven grabbed his hand, reached into his pocket, and pulled out a pair of scissors and started cutting Brenner's fingers.
Stop!
I ran over to them to check on Brenner. His fingers were bleeding and he was crying. I slapped the scissors out of Steven's hand, grabbed him by the arm, and forced him inside to his mom. Hey, Steven just cut Brenner's fingers with scissors. Oh, Steven. What? That's it?
Yeah.
I was shocked. Call my mom right now so she can pick us up. We're leaving. We left and Brenner's fingers healed just fine. But still, that reaction from the mom was not okay.
Yeah.
Luckily, I never had to go to that family's house again. Reminds me of another time Brody was really young and another boy was punching him. My mom took the kid to his mom and told her that his son was hitting Brody. And all she did was say, soft hands, Hunter.
What?
I mean, come on, soft hands? How about punishing your kid for hitting a stranger?
Yeah.
You clearly don't know how to discipline children. Here, I'll show you how it's done.
A lot of Brenner's injuries were caused by him wanting to grow up fast and to keep up with his older brothers. For example,
My turn. Bryson doesn't need training wheels on his bike, so neither do I. Let me try.
but one time, Brenner tried to set a trend that the other brothers would follow, and the consequences were severe. This next story is the real reason I made this video. I'm honestly still surprised that Brenner survived this. It was bad. In our basement, we had a tall exercise machine that looked like this. Brenner decided that he wanted to climb it and jump off it onto our beanbag for fun. However, this time it went horribly wrong. Brenner pushed the beanbag close to the machine, climbed up, and jumped headfirst with the same regard for his life that a Minecraft player has when seeing one block of water at the bottom of a cliff. Part of the beanbag covered the exercise bench, which extended out, hiding the big metal part underneath. Brenner thought that since there was part of the beanbag there, it would be soft. But his head slammed through the beanbag into the metal part and he split his forehead wide open.
Oh.
Mom and Brittany came running into Brenner crying with blood all over him. They freaked out and dashed him out of the house to take him to the hospital. I only caught a glimpse of him as they ran out, but I could tell it was bad.
Oh.
Brittany and Mom later told me...
Oh, man. Like, this boy right here, that boy right there, man. That would be bad.
Out and dashed him out of the house to take him to the hospital. I only caught a glimpse of him as they ran out, but I could tell it was bad. Brittany and Mom later told me that they could see Brenner's skull through the gash in it.
What? 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 Why the heck would Brenner even do that? I feel you, brother. I feel you.
Head. My dad sent me to a friend's house so they could watch me while my parents took care of Brenner. I remember sitting on their stairs, terrified that I'd never see Brenner again. God, please hear my prayer. If you make Brenner be okay, I promise I'll never be mean to him again.
Oh. God has accepted your call.
At the hospital, since Brenner was so accident-prone, they kept pointing to cuts on his head that were from previous shenanigans. Is this cut old or new? Is this cut old or new? Is this old or new? Finally, my sister was like,
the gaping gash on his forehead, that is new. Forget the rest of it, fix that.
Somehow the doctors patched him up. I think they even had a plastic surgeon involved in fixing his head. When I next saw Brenner, he was up on his feet with 25 stitches in his head. But he was okay.
25?
Phew! I thought you were gonna die, Brenner. I'm so glad you're okay. Anyway. 。
Brenner still has a massive scar across his forehead, but thanks to the doctors, he was okay.
Brenner, can you please calm down on the injuries? You're gonna die if you're not careful.
Yeah.
It's not hard to die. I could do it like right now. But like, number 2...
Another time, a young Brenner was using the bathroom and found a bottle of painkillers on the countertop. They were coated in a sugary glaze to make them go down easier. So Brenner took the pills one by one and sucked on them till they ran out of sugar, then spat them out. He did this over and over and over, and from sucking on the pills, he got sick and passed out.
I'm tired. Ooh.
My mom discovered Brenner unconscious on the bathroom floor surrounded by pills.
What? Ah!
And once again, the doctors proved why it's good to go to college. Not for me, though, but as for you guys, good for you. I don't know how they saved him, honestly. I don't really know how doctors work. For all I know, they could have removed all of Brenner's blood, which was tainted with drugs, thrown it away, then pumped him up with fresh blood. I don't know. Another time, he swallowed a bunch of coins, and again, my parents rushed him to the hospital where he was x-rayed to show a pile of coins in his stomach. They told my poor parents to dig through his, waist until they got all the coins. He was like a piggy bank, but way more disgusting. He was like a piggy bank, but way more disgusting. Honestly, with how often Brenner visited the hospital, I'm surprised they didn't have a special section of the hospital just for him. This next story is surprisingly the only time that Brenner has ever broken a bone. You would think at this point that he would have no bones left because of how often he gets hurt, but nope, he still has bones. My family has a small motorcycle that we call Big Bertha. It's fun to ride around on, but it has no suspension. It is 2 wheels and a motor, that's it. One day, Brenner was driving it, and despite knowing that Big Bertha had no suspension, he decided to ride it off a curb. The bike bounced, Brenner swerved and lost control, and he went head over handlebars. He landed on his arm and totally snapped his wrist. One hospital trip later, and Brenner had a cast. He wanted his cast to be unique, so he asked me to paint it to look like Thanos' gauntlet. So I got the paint out and painted it as best I could to look like the gauntlet. It looked pretty cool in my opinion. But then later, Brenner's arm got itchy. The doctors told him that his arm would be itchy at first, but that if he ignored it, the itchiness would go away. They also specifically told him to leave the cast alone and to not shove anything into the cast to try and scratch his itch. However, the itch got the better of Brenner. So without consulting anyone, he grabbed Brody's glasses and started shoving the long end into his cast in an attempt to scratch his itch. He pulled the glasses out only to realize that the little rubber covering had slipped off and it was now stuck in the cast. Determined to scratch his itch and recover the rubber cover, Brenner somehow removed all of the soft wrappings underneath the cast, leaving only the hard outer shell. Brenner had scratched his itch and was satisfied. Then Mom walked in and saw what Brenner had done.
Man.
They went back to the hospital and explained the situation. Can you imagine being a doctor and setting someone up with a nice cast to help them heal, and the next thing you know, they ruined it?
I feel like the maid. I just cleaned up this mess. Can we keep it clean for 10 minutes?
They had to cut off his Thanos cast and make another one for him. Brenner got home and asked me to paint his new cast. No, I spent a lot of time painting that last one and you ruined it. How do I know you won't ruin it again?
Come on, man, just paint it again.
Why should I be penalized because of your sloppiness?
So Brenner went around wearing a lame blue cast rather than a cool Thanos cast. A few months later, the doctors took off the cast and they realized that Brenner's arm had healed crooked. It was literally like a 15-degree angle. My mom pointed this out and the doctor said, "Yeah, well, it's within the range of crookedness that we consider to be acceptable, so we're just gonna leave it like that."
What? That's easy for you to say. You're not the one who has to live with a crooked arm. Fix his arm and do it right this time.
So the doctors explained that in order to fix it, they would have to re-break Brenner's arm, angle it correctly, and recast it.
Do it.
Wait, what?
Hold them down.
Wait, no!
Oh, boy.
So they did that, and Brenner's arm eventually healed correctly, but not without pain. Now, you would think that after breaking his arm on Big Bertha, that Brenner would never touch that thing again, right? Nope. Let me tell you one last story. One day, me and Brenner got bored and decided to go for a ride. Him on Big Bertha and me on my go-kart. We chased each other around a parking lot, but then I thought, how can I make racing around more interesting? and my mind went to my favorite racing game, Mario Kart. You know, the game where you destroy your enemies by throwing items at them. So I decided to drive by Brenner and throw my flip-flops at him. We went back and forth throwing flip-flops at each other like green shells for some time. Then I zoomed by and got a good flip-flop strike on Brenner, and he wanted to retaliate with something stronger. He grabbed a big tree branch and drove towards me. He swung the branch and I swerved out of the way. But the branch was so heavy that swinging it threw Brenner off balance. He swerved and flew over the handlebars once more.
Again? Freaking again?
Brenner was scraped and bruised, but luckily nothing broke. And he finally learned his lesson, and he doesn't drive Big Bertha anymore. But I do. Here we are at the end of the video, and yet, that's not even all of Brenner's injuries. But if I keep talking about them, this video is going to be 30 minutes long, and in that time, he'll probably injure himself again. Let's quickly get through some last stories. Lightning round. We visited a janky aquarium that let you swim with sharks, and a bamboo shark bit Brenner's finger. Brenner went to a trampoline park, attempted a stupid trick, and landed on his head and had to wear a neck brace for a few weeks. Brenner and Brody went kayaking. Brody tried to splash Brenner with the paddle, but it skipped off the water, slammed into Brenner's face, and cracked his front teeth. A car almost backed over him as a child, but he hung onto the bumper while being dragged, and my sister stopped the car to save him. His friend accidentally shot him in the forehead with a BB gun, and his forehead still has a dent. In conclusion, Brenner's guardian angel is built different, because she has saved Brenner more times than I can count. And as much as I make fun of him, I am grateful for that. As he has grown, I think he has gotten a little less accident prone. Let's hope it keeps going in that direction, cause I'm pretty sure he has used up all of his 9 lives. God has sent his soul back to the living world so many times at this point that if Brenner shows up there again, God might just say, "Oh, forget it," and keep him. Well, hey, it could be worse. At least his soul is going to heaven.
Hey guys, it's me, your favorite...
Okay, now that was pretty good. Honestly, it was going a lot, quicker. The faster videos go, the faster, the production goes. Man, it is just crazy.